How many of you guys like to watch or play sports? Yeah? Well, so do I. In fact, if you do not know sports, which I'm assuming most of you do, you know that the points in a game are extremely important. And almost every single sport there's some sort of point system in order for there to determine a winner of the game. Well, just as there are important points in sports, there are also important points in public relations. Hello everyone, my name is Joclyn Kirton. If you don't know me, I'm a senior public relations major. If you do know me, then you know how much I love sports and how much they have impacted my life in the past 20 years, and even more so how they have shaped my character in the past 4 years. I've been blessed to be able to be a part of the PR program here at Biola and also play 2 collegiate level sports during my time as an undergraduate student. And due to my involvement in both, I have found that public relations and sports are very similar in many ways. So first, in my presentation today, I want to talk about my journey to PR and how I got to where I am today. And then I want to talk about the points of PR, how I believe that through my experience, I have found sports and PR go together. And then I want to talk about relating PR to the workplace and how I will bring these skills that I've learned in the classroom and on the court with me into the workplace. And then I will open up for questions. So to begin, my journey to PR was a challenging yet rewarding experience, and one that I will never trade for anything in the world. 4 years ago, upon arriving at Biola, I had the perfect vision of what I wanted my future to look like. I knew exactly where I wanted to go, I knew who I wanted to be, and I knew what I wanted to do. So the plan, I've had a heart for missions since I went on my very first missions trip, which was actually this picture right here, over 10 years ago. I went to Tijuana, Mexico, and I served on an orphanage for a little over a week. And since that mission trip, I've actually been on multiple other volunteer trips or mission trips, including Russia, more Mexico, and even here in LA. I've learned through these mission trips that I am a people person. Although I'm an introvert, I love helping people find success, and I love helping those in need. And I love seeing the joy on their faces after I've helped them accomplish what they were looking to accomplish. So coming to college, I had planned on majoring in English and Christian ministries because I really did feel like missions was my calling in life. And upon graduation, I was going to leave and go overseas, hopefully, and work somewhere in the missions field. However, this all changed quickly when I came to Biola and met all of these new people. God made it known to me that this was not his calling in my life. Although it was a great experience for me and I do still have a heart for missions, it was not his plan for me. And he also made it known that his plan was so much better than any plan that I could have ever imagined for myself. So, this didn't surprise me. I actually have known my whole life that God's plan is better than my own plan. And obviously, his plan always works out in the end. However, what did surprise me was the way in which he decided to flip my life around and change it for his glory. God blessed me with the opportunity to play not only 1, but 2 sports during my time here at Biola. And I will admit there have been times I have questioned his plan multiple times, and also my sanity. However, looking back, I realized that playing 2 collegiate level sports has really been one of the main factors as to why I believe that God is calling me to a job in the public relations field, and specifically in sports PR. So after God made it clear that the missions field was no longer my calling, but it was sports PR, I became so drawn to this field. I took my very first PR class, Intro to PR, my fall of sophomore year, and I immediately fell in love with the industry. I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to do as best as I could in class, and I didn't exactly know why I was so drawn to this field until it dawned on me that I fell in love with PR for the exact same reasons that I fell in love with sports. There are 3 major skills that I've been able to enhance and experience during my time here at Biola, and those 3 skills are teamwork, leadership, and adaptation. As an athlete, I could argue that these skills that I've learned from practicing on the court and playing in games have also helped me in the classroom with group projects and in internships. And I can also argue that they are still currently helping me or preparing me for a job in the PR industry. And it's obvious that these 3 points are vital to sports and playing with a team and in games and practice, but it's also so vital to bring with me into the industry, and that's often overlooked by a lot of PR professionals. So my first point of PR is teamwork. Playing sports competitively has taught me how to work together with other people as a team. Although times are not only working with people when times are easy, but also when times get tough. Joining the volleyball team here, I have had to learn how to play with a whole new set of girls. I have had to learn how new coaches coach me, and I've also had to learn how to play at a faster pace than I've never played at before. Physically, this was extremely challenging. However, this was so much more of a mental battle for me that I had to overcome, and thankfully I was not alone due to the team dynamics within my team. There were others. And just as you work with your teammates in a team, you also work with people in the PR field. As a team, you find ways that other people can succeed, and you make sure that everyone is working on the same page. It's not always easy working with others on a team. There are definitely going to be some personality clashes, but I have found in my experience that it is much more enjoyable to work with other people when everyone is on the same page, working towards one common goal for the good of the company or the team. And for example, my team, we have always had the goal of reaching a national title. And although I would like to say that we reached that goal, we didn't, but we came very close. And along the way, we were able to accomplish so much more because we had always had that one goal at the forefront of our minds. Teamwork is what makes or breaks a successful team or a PR professional. My next point of PR is leadership. And I'm sure most of us here have heard of the term or phrase of learning how to follow before you lead. Well, I have first-handedly experienced the value of this statement through all of my years of being an underclassman and working my way up to senior year. Through my experience as an athlete, and as an underclassman on my team, I experienced 3 different years of leadership before me as a freshman. And during these years, I was able to determine what certain approaches to leadership I did and did not like. And through that, I was able to conduct what I thought was a good leader on a team or in the classroom. And I was able to prepare myself for the day my coach asked me to become a captain on my team my junior year. And this is also preparing me, still currently, for the time where after I graduate and I begin at an entry-level position in the PR workplace, and I'm going to have to work my way up eventually and one day hopefully be a leader in the industry. Over a year ago, I wrote my own definition for PR, and it states, public relations is a process of truthful, strategic communication between an organization and its public, enabling the growth and fostering of genuinely beneficial relationships by means of analyzing the public's desires and beliefs and taking appropriate action by working towards an end goal of effectively aligning each party's interests for their benefit and ultimately conditioning society towards honesty and integrity. Although at the time this was only for an assignment, I have found myself coming back to this definition so many times. PR is about truthful communication and building between an organization and its publics and building mutually beneficial relationships, yes, but I've also found that sports is the exact same way. Through my leadership on the team, I was expected to build or establish this foundation of trust between the senior class, which is here, with all of our underclassmen on the team in order to create this sense of mutually beneficial relationships, which is how we worked as a team so well. Also, I mentioned honesty and integrity in my definition, and I believe that those are both traits that everyone on my team had, and they're crucial attributes as a team, and they are also crucial attributes to bring with us into the PR workplace, especially into sports PR, which is an industry that so desperately needs honesty and integrity through their PR professionals. So this quote is actually from a class lecture that I sat in last semester, and it states, "Leadership in public relations is a dynamic process that encompasses a complex mix of individual skills and personal attributes, values and behaviors that consistently produce ethical and effective communication practice. Such practice fuels and guides successful communication teams, helps organizations achieve their goals, and legitimizes organizations in society." I could argue that if you were to replace the words public relations with sports, the quote would actually still make complete sense. In fact, I'll read it one more time. "Leadership in sports is a dynamic process that encompasses a complex mix of individual skills and personal attributes, values, and behaviors that consistently produce ethical and effective communication practice. Such practice fuels and guides successful communication teams, helps organizations achieve their goals, and legitimizes organizations in society." Notice that leadership is a skill that is super important in sports. I've firsthand experienced this. It's also one that is so important in the PR industry, and it's one that I'm continuing to learn about, and hopefully one day I will be able to bring it with me. The last major point of leadership, or of public relations, is adaptation. Obviously, there's many ways that people have learned to adapt just coming to college, and there are going to be many ways that we're going to have to learn how to adapt after graduation. So my first point is coming to Biola and playing on the volleyball team. When I came to Biola, I had to leave my home state, I had to leave my family and friends, and this was extremely challenging for me, but I had to learn how to adapt. And 3 years ago, when I chose PR over English and Christian ministries, that was very difficult for me because honestly, I didn't really know much about the PR industry before I joined the major, and that was extremely hard for me too because I went from two definitely completely different jobs to public relations. More recently, I had the opportunity to join the basketball team this past year, and that was probably the hardest form of adaptation I've ever experienced to this day because I had to join a new team with new girls, new team dynamics, new coaches and everything. And not to mention, I haven't played basketball in over 4 years, so you can imagine my very first practice with the team. It was very tough. And lastly, with graduation only a month away, I'm going to have to learn to adapt to a completely new world. And this will be very challenging as well because I will be leaving the comfort of what has come to be my home away from home. And lastly, everyone is going to have to experience adaptation in the workplace, no matter what industry you decide to go into. And through all of my situations of learning how to adapt, I feel that I am prepared to join an industry that is constantly changing. And because of all of my experience, I will be able to adapt that much easier. So teamwork, leadership, and adaptation are my points of PR that I've been able to experience and enhance throughout my time here as a Biola student, or as a Biola PR student, and as a student athlete. I may not know exactly where it is that God is taking me after graduation, but one thing I do know is that I am fully equipped for whatever He brings me due to the knowledge I've gained as both an aspiring PR practitioner and as an athlete. Thank you guys for listening. I'll now open up for questions.